Hi, good morning. My name is Rinaldo Aguiar, and today is June 21st, 2025, and it's 8:23 a.m. I'm making this short video to talk about a subject that I've been meaning to talk about for a while, but I haven't really gotten around to it. It's about electronic cigarettes, okay? And this is a theory, I have to say. I have no way to prove this for now until I manage to talk to the real authorities. But this is something I suspect happened, okay? It's a suspicion, but I cannot prove it because I don't have the equipment or the know-how how to analyze this thing. But it's about e-cigarettes, right? So at some point in the past, Gillian Walsh talked to me about, I was a smoker, okay? And I've struggled with that addiction for years. I tried to quit multiple times, and in a couple of occasions, I did manage to quit for years. But then on one occasion, for example, Renata Gesheva, who is an agent, right, and was one of these romantic interests, fake romantic interests they manufactured, she, on her second date, she took me to a, how do you call that? I don't know what's the word in English, but in San Francisco, there are these lounges for smokers. It's like a lounge where you smoke Cubans. Like, I don't really have the jargon of that word, but in English, right? Tabacos would be in Spanish. So it was like a smoker's lunch. And for our second day, she took me there. And I had been a smoker before, and it cost me a lot of work to quit. And I had been a non-smoker for 5 years. And then I meet this unicorn of a romantic interest that they manufacture, bespoke, made for me. And she suggests going to a smoker's lunch on our second day. Of course, I went, and then I ended up smoking for another, I don't know, 5 years. But anyhow, that aside, at some point, Gillian Walsh, which is an agent, also one of these manufactured romantic interests, years later, talked to me about electronic cigarettes and how it was less, she explained that it was more healthy, right, than smoking, because you were not really smoking the CO2 and all those chemicals. So anyhow, it made me curious, and I bought one of those. That was a big mistake, because I don't know. And this is what I suspect. I suspect that the ones that I bought were spiked with something to make them more addictive, because it was an incredibly addictive substance. And I understand that they are addictive and that nicotine is addictive and that there's a lot of warning in the labels. I understand that. But remember, like, I've been a smoker for years, and I quit smoking 2 times before. But this thing, I could not quit. It didn't matter how hard I tried, or if I used the patches or the gums, like, it didn't matter. It was so addictive that I could just not quit. And I always wanted to use it more and more often and more often. It was a big burden. Like, I could not do anything with my days, because I was basically hooked to that thing pretty much all the time. Anyhow, the ones that I bought, and this lasted for 6 months, because it will go to a point where I realized that I had to leave this or I would die. And also, but in reality, what really made me quit was Marcelo, because when I decided that I wanted to conceive Marcelo, I completely stopped using that, like cold turkey, like 7 months before he was conceived, because I didn't want to contaminate him with any chemicals, right? So I made that decision. I think, in a way, he saves me, because otherwise that thing would have killed me. Anyhow, I'm mentioning all this because I was looking through, organizing my evidence room, and I found these little pieces. So I found one of the cartridges of the Juul e-cigarettes. So they can be tested, right, to see if they have any additives or something that is not naturally on these things. Not naturally, it's not normally in these things, to see if they spiked them with something to make them more addictive to me. I bought them always at the Shell station that is on FM 1093 and FM 1463. So it's possible that the tampering, if it happened, was at the gas station. I have the packings of it. I also have a box, and I believe these things have serial numbers. I believe, I'm not sure. So maybe it's traceable, right? This is the one that I used to be hooked to. And also, I have some of these nicotine patches that I bought at CVS, which I know is controlled by the network and by the Iranians, in case they were tampered with. So I have all the things for law enforcement if they want to test them. Okay, I'll stop this video for now. Thank you so much. Until the next one.